That's how we got the windscreens.
Yeah. Pop filters. We also call them as audio professionals.
Pop filters.
Okay. Well, this is the first in-person episode I've done in a long time.
I'm honored.
I couldn't be more delighted.
I'm honored. I'm truly honored.
Than to have my good friend, Matt,
Hi.
on this podcast.
Hello. I'm Matt, the good friend, on the podcast.
Do you want to introduce yourself?
I'm Matt, the good friend on the podcast. No, my name is Matt. I do front of house for Knocked Loose. I'm currently on tour with Fox Lake from the U.S. doing TM front of house. I'm just a guy, you know?
Just a guy.
Just
and they have an off day in Vienna, which is why we're on my balcony.
Yes.
The sun is shining.
Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Spirits are high.
Spirits are great. It couldn't be better.
Yeah. I mean, what else do you want on an off day?
This exactly. It's great.
Recording a podcast episode with me.
Yes.
It's
one and only.
Audio talk.
Yep.
And because we're audio guys.
We are.
I'm also just a guy.
You are just a guy.
We've already been talking about audio stuff in the past 3 hours now. We need to remember what we talked about so we can.
We've mainly been talking about why we chose to get into audio in the first place.
And we don't remember.
We don't know why. We may try to figure that out on this podcast, but.
Why did you get into audio though? For reals.
I always wanted to be an audio guy. I started touring with my own band called Falsifier back in the day, probably around 2012, 2013. And I always tried to mess around with recordings. I always admired audio guys. I just thought they were so cool. You know what I mean?
That's a new one.
Yeah. This shows how much of a dork I was. But I always had this ambition to learn as much as I could about audio, but I could never understand the technical process behind things. Like I'd open up a DAW and I couldn't figure out how to get my interface to record a single input.
It's kind of overwhelming in the beginning.
It is. You feel stupid. And people are like, oh, just watch YouTube videos. I'm like, I can't. I needed somebody to be right in front of me showing me how everything works. So eventually, after several years of trying to figure it out myself, I went to school. And the rest has kind of been history.
You were one of the guys that I know that made the biggest jumps in the least amount of time. Because you started, basically you came from studio, you started out touring.
Yep.
I think Stick to Your Guns was your first touring gig. And then you started doing Knocked Loose and you grew so big with them. And that's kind of the ideal of what everyone wants in this industry, every audio person, to find that small band that suddenly kicks off and you get to grow with them, and you had that, and that's beautiful.
Yeah, it's been a pretty wild ride. I never expected to get into any of this touring. Like when I got out of school, I just wanted to do studio and studio only. And the opportunity for front of house kind of landed in my lap, and I'm like, if I don't take this, it's an opportunity gone to waste. And I think it was the best decision I ever made. But the first tour I ever did, the only experience I had with mixing live was at school on an M32.
Which is how you have to learn it,
yes.
kind of. That's the hard school that everyone has to go through.
If you can learn an M32, you can struggle through any other console.
Or even worse, an X32.
An X32.
I think it's harder to go from a good console to working on an X32 for the first time, because you'll be like, what the fuck is this touch not working?
Yeah,
Where the fuck do I find this and that? Whereas if you start out with that, it only gets better.
Yes, absolutely. And I think a lot of me getting with a band like Knocked Loose was just right place, right time. You know, I got in with them at a time where they were in between sound guys because they were a bit smaller, and not that they couldn't keep a sound guy because they're awesome band, awesome people, but these people just had other opportunities that were a bit bigger at the time. And I came in when I was looking for anything. So I think I kind of landed in a very, very lucky pocket of the industry.
And that's kind of the dream. And one big thing about this, and I feel like I talk about this in every podcast, and we've been talking about it before we started recording too, is you can't be an asshole.
No.
Because no one's going to hire you if they don't like you.
Yeah.
Or you're going to be fired very soon if you act out and if you're not a good hang. And you are obviously a good hang. So that's as important as being good at the actual job.
Yep. And I think there's also something to be said about people who are too nice on the job. You know,
Working for not enough money for too long.
Exactly. And there's
Guilty.
people in this industry can sense when you're not when you're a pushover, but like if you can't stand up for yourself and you just let people walk over like all over you, that's just as bad as being an
I feel
asshole
personally
sometimes.
attacked.
Yeah. Yeah, you know, you're just a big push. No, you're not a pushover. But you know what I mean? It's you got to be able to have that backbone to go, no, this is what I need. This is what I want. But it's also towing the line of not being an asshole, you know, because you can become an asshole very quickly in that way. And I think there's a lot of dudes who become jaded because they feel like, well, somebody's been an asshole to me in the industry. I have to be an asshole back. And I think that's just a cycle of sound guy trauma. And you all need to go to therapy.
Yeah.
All of you. Most of you.
Including me.
Including
I am. I'm actually going to therapy, but I'm not an asshole for other reasons.
Yes. Therapy, I mean, we can go on about therapy
only
too.
helps.
Yeah.
Whatever you're dealing with or whatever your shitty personality is, like, go to therapy.
Whatever personality type you got, work on it.
Okay, back to mixing.
Enough about therapy.
Mixing is also kind of therapy.
It is. It absolutely is.
Do you get like high moments when you're like at your desk and you mix a big show and you're like, fuck yeah, this is awesome?
Yeah. There's like no better feeling in the world when all the circumstances with the venue sounding perfect, your mix being dialed, and just the crowd being into it. And like sometimes when you can control the crowd with your mix, that's like it. I feel like
Powerful.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I'm on top of the world. But
That's
I
the
also,
best feeling.
I've been getting this crazy good feeling from smaller venue shows that I think are going to be shit. Like we just did a show in somewhere in France at a very small venue, and the PA speakers were aligned 6 speakers, like the guitar company, you know,
consumer type
insane
shit
mode, yeah. And I'm like, this is going to be fucking awful. I had a dB limit of 106C, and I had one of the best mixes I've ever had in my life, just because I was so limited. And I was like, I like, you know, that kind of stuff gives you more confidence than I find mixing a big show on the perfect PA system on the board that you're already used to. I feel like if you're hired, those shows should be a given. If you're doing a small show without any of your own stuff,
If you can pull that off,
that's where you shine the most. And I
That's where
think
you
that's
shine,
where bands
exactly.
find that's where you shine the most. That's just me.
and that's another reason for bands not to like toot our own horns, but for bands that do smaller venues to actually bring a front of house person, because that's when that can make the biggest difference to maybe an opening band who is just mixed by a house engineer who doesn't give a fuck or who just doesn't know the band and the music, and even though he's trying hard, it might not be sounding so great. Whereas if you bring a sound person that really took the time to learn your music and your band and knows what's going on, that is going to make the biggest difference. And it's more of a difference in feeling that people have when listening to the show than it actually being like, oh, this sounds way better. It just feels different.
Yeah, and I respect a smaller band on a big support, like on a big tour supporting, that are willing to eat shit and bring a tech that they know is going to make them make an impact.
Fox Lake right now. I'm
Lake
sure
right now.
they're just up and coming. They'll be going places.
Yeah.
But they're not going to make the money of a lifetime on that Poppy tour. No. But by bringing you and making sure that all the people that are in the room when they play are being blown away, that's how they secure their future. Yep.
And I think that they've hopefully been seeing that response, you know. It just builds confidence for the band too, you know. And they're on a really cool trajectory right now, where they could, like, any day now they could just blow up. Yeah.
Which I hope they will.
They will, absolutely. Windy.
We got some wind coming in.
Got some wind. You can't control these factors.
Don't
folks.
worry, we got pop filters on the mics.
we're audio people. You got this, don't worry.
I will be hating myself in post-production.
That's your problem.
Yeah, I put this on myself. I was like, let's do this outside. The camera is pretty wobbly too when the wind comes in. I swear I'm a professional.
And cut.
Okay. Actually, before we keep doing this, this is recording.
You got to keep that shot in the interview.
Huh?
You got to keep that shot in the interview.
You know, I actually like if I don't have the recording gear close to me, or if like because of the light situation I don't really see what the camera is doing, I'm always terrified that it's not recording because it has happened before. I'm not a video person. Even though I'm always like, I want to do any kind of job on a tour.
Yep.
Just to like see other departments and find out about other things and learn more. I don't think I could be a video person.
See, that's where you and me differ because I'm like, oh, I'm an audio guy and I'm going to be an audio guy until I die. If you want me to do lighting stuff, that scares
I
me.
wouldn't say lighting, but right now I'm like, maybe I'll be a TM assistant or a production person on a bigger tour sometime. I was so focused on doing front of house and TM that a lot of times just came with it. I was so focused on that for such a long time. And now I'm like, I kind of want to see something else. Also, now that the market, and that's also something we should be talking about, that the market is so slim.
Yeah.
You just have to be open to do other things because what we were saying earlier is the post-COVID bubble just burst.
It burst so hard. And I feel like everybody's like kind of scrambling right now. More crew people because there was such an influx of jobs for that first 3 years after the industry. That's how I got into the industry.
A lot of people had quit during COVID, went to do corporate jobs, got themselves a 40-hour 9-to-5, and then COVID was done, and all the bands wanted to tour, and just play as many shows as possible. And there were way less crew people than before COVID, so we all had all the jobs, and now.
Amazing. Now it's just like slowed down. I feel like it's a combo of that, and I think people are kind of overwhelmed with the amount of shows that were going on. Maybe there's not as good a selection right now. You know, it's a whole bunch of things.
Money's getting tight.
Yeah.
Inflation. I don't know.
Tickets
are more expensive.
World's falling apart.
Yeah.
You know,
it's
I
fucked.
think people just aren't thinking about shows right now as much. I could be talking out of my ass too, so we'll see.
You never know. And another thing that we've been talking about a lot before this is being loyal to a band is like good until that band suddenly for some reason doesn't tour anymore, and then you're left with nothing.
Yeah, it's crazy how quick things can change. But we are definitely in a better position where if a band, crumbles, we can at least find a new band, or try to.
Well, we are.
Yes.
Always kind of. Yeah. Just putting the word out there and always looking for things. Yeah. But going back to mixing.
Yeah.
So you're doing Knock Loose. They have a very distinct sound. I think one of the biggest things is the snare bombs that I'm sure you get so many questions about this all the time.
Yeah.
But walk me through it.
Walk you through the snare bomb?
Yes.
Snare bomb, for those who don't know, is an effect that I manually control from front of house. It's a big reverb on a snare for individual snare hits. Makes it sound like a bomb. I do tom bombs now too, so big tom hits. There's a big bomb.
Tom bombs.
Send it to the sub too.
I like that.
It's cool. It's just whatever you can do as an engineer to add a little flavor to the set that maybe the listener wouldn't hear on a record,
Or maybe recreate something that's on a record,
Or-
but
yeah.
doing it on the fly.
Yeah, or recreate something that's on a record too. It's crazy. I know a lot of people who hate snare bombs. I know a lot of people who love snare bombs, and I'm kind
I
of
know a lot of house engineers who, when they have a band that they've never heard before and they just mix them for the night,
yeah.
and they're like, oh, this is a heavy band. I can do snare bombs. They will not stop doing it throughout the set.
It's like 5 in a row. If you do 5 in a row,
It's too much.
if you do 3 in a row, I started doing 3 in a row on this tour because there's a part that calls for it, and I'm like, a bit much, but I'm gonna keep doing it because it works.
People
It
love a
works.
snare bomb.
Yeah, it's all about time and place. I do a lot of them, but I feel like they all have a specific impact section of the song.
What's your what are yours parameters, your settings?
My
You said something about
settings?
like a 7 millisecond,
Yeah, 7 second.
7 seconds,
Yeah.
not millisecond.
I use the basic Allen and Heath D-Live verb, the plate. I actually recall the plate snare settings, and all I touch is the HFDK and the actual decay. That's it. That's
That
it.
sounds way too simple.
Everybody's gonna steal it, but it's. I think it's a lot more than that. I mean, it all comes down
Timing.
to your timing, and it all comes down to your snare source. Like your snare has to sound good before it hits that snare bomb, or else it'll just. I don't know.
Here's what annoys me a lot about snare bombs when you're in like punk and hardcore. and maybe sometimes metalcore, if you have a very high tinny snare,
Yeah.
the bomb's just gonna, I don't know, you need a
Gang.
little body. You
Yeah.
need a little body on there. And if the snare's not giving you that, the bomb's gonna sound shit.
Oh, it's so bad.
Period.
There's this new trend with the dodgeball snare and like deathcore and a lot of hardcore, which I fuck with. Like it's a cool sounding snare, but these dudes are trying to do snare bombs with it, and I'm like, you're just adding a huge plate to an already bad sounding snare. So like, what are we doing here? You know, like you gotta. It's a bunch of different factors that makes it sound good. I'm talking like it's a science to a snare bomb.
I think it is a science.
It is, yeah. It's a good way to make people hate you really fast.
I like that people are like, oh, he has perfected it. And then you're like, I just recall the stock plugin.
I have everything cool that I've ever done on my mixes, I've stolen from somebody else.
I think that's how it goes, though.
Yeah, absolutely.
No one's that innovative nowadays.
And everything that I stole from somebody, they've stolen it from someone else too. So it's just a cycle of.
You can sell it as your idea, though. That's not to blame.
Yep. We're like the modern day audio colonizers. We just steal from other nations.
At some point, someone has to invent something new, though.
It's true, yeah. Tom bombs. It's mine. Don't ever steal it.
Bombs. That's the new thing now.
I'm pretty sure I stole that from
Said it
somebody
here
else.
first on the RoadCast audio talk. Tom Bombs. Credits to Matt.
Yep. It's my real name is Thomas, too, so you can call them Thomas Bombs.
What?
Yeah.
Your real name is Thomas?
My real name is Thomas.
Why do you go by Matt?
My parents hate me. No, they don't hate me. They love me. I don't know.
Shout out to the moms.
Shout out to my parents, who don't hate me. They love me. There's like this East Coast Canada thing where you name your children after your great ancestors, but don't actually call them that. So you do the middle name of what you actually want to call the child.
Thomas.
It's fucked up a whole generation of East Coast Canadian kids. Well, we were already fucked up to begin with.
I'm still going to call you Matt.
Good, as you should. Thomas Bomb, though. It's the Thomas Bomb.
Thomas Bomb.
Yeah.
I like to refer to Toms as Thomases when I multiply them.
The floor Thomas.
Can you please play me the Thomases?
Yep.
Yeah, so snare bombs, Thomas bombs.
Thomas Bombs.
What else is really big essential in your mix?
Just having a big drum mix in general. Just having a big mix overall, you know? I'm a drummer, so all of my mixes are always going to be a drum forward mix.
Which is perfect with the kind of sound that they want.
Yep. It needs to be hard-hitting and impactful in your face, and the drums are the rhythm section. They have to be punchy and hard. The bass is a rhythm section. That's got to be punchy and hard. Yeah, carve out all the spaces for everything so it all sits properly. You know, I don't do anything too crazy in my mixes, really.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
Do you think, and we talked about this before too, if you're able to mix a really heavy band and make it sound good, you will be able to mix any other genre because you're kind of doing the most difficult thing already?
Yeah, absolutely.
People are going to hate us for this, but I think so too.
It's so true. I mean, here's the thing. Metal mixes and country mixes have so much in common with them. Punchy drums, huge bass, if you ever see a country show, it almost sounds heavy, but it's just country is just such a bass forward, impact, rhythm driven type of music,
And then just vocal here.
and just vocal right in your face. But all of that coincides with any kind of metal mix. You know, you want vocals in your face, you want drums
Right.
punching you, you want everything to be impactful but still have its own space. Yeah.
That's what we're going for.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not just metal to country. It's if you can mix a metal band, you can mix a rock band, you can mix a jazz band. You know, I've done snare bombs for jazz bands before. You know, at my local venue. It's like
You always, whoever hires you, they just got to know you come with snare bombs. There's no
it's-
way around it.
it's ingrained in me at this point. But
Yeah, I think so too. Mixing heavy shows is more difficult than other genres, but people may differ and have other opinions, which I totally respect, but that's what I think.
I agree.
So on this one with Fox Lake, is there any special thing that you were like, oh, I'm so excited to try this out, or do you just do your usual?
I'm doing a guitar thing with them, which I do with Knocked Loose, which once again, I've stolen from everybody. I stole it from a Sugar's guy, and I'm pretty sure he probably stole it from somebody else too. I do this duplicate of my guitars because Brandon plays a lot of like heavy chug parts, and there's leads on the other side. They have track guitars on one side, him on the other side. So what I've done is I've taken the track guitar and put it down the middle, made a duplicate of Brandon, delayed it by like 24 milliseconds, something egregious like that. And then I pan it to the right. So I have Brandon doing chugs at all times in stereo. And then I have a lead directly down the middle. So it's kind of just sonically fills up
Interesting.
what I feel like I'm lacking on the other side and just brings it way more to your face. But you can get into pretty bad phase issues with that if you don't like really get the delay down. That's something I do with Knocked Loose. That's something I started with Knocked Loose. I was like, I want to do that just when Isaac's playing a lead part. I want to hit a button that pans him to the middle, unmutes a duplicate of Nico on the other side. But then I would do it, and I'm like, I kind of just love how this sounds on it all the time. So I've kind of translated that to all my mixes. I got some encoders that'll boost the bass by 3 dB for a certain bass drum only part.
Do you do a lot of like soft programming like that?
I don't go crazy. Like I don't have a ton of scenes for each song. I have scenes for specific things. So like the bass one, it'll boost his bass by a little bit. The guitar one, if I need it to be just Brandon in the track, I can do that, but I keep it on all the time. I have one, this one's fun. For the fast snare parts, I have an encoder that will mute his snare verb and then boost his snare channel by about 2 or 3 dB. So when it's going through the super fast things, they still have as much impact as like a normal hit would. Just little things like that, you know what I mean?
Which again just proves how important it is to have someone with you that knows your music and your style so well and can enhance that.
Yeah, for sure. I do a lot of like mains volume automation too. So like, you know, bringing it back to kind of play nice with Euro dB laws, but then boosting it at big parts. And you can see, like, you see the reaction of people in the crowd. It's like, whoa, holy fuck, you know? And then you bring it back down and you slowly can work your way back up to that normal volume for the rest of the set. But it's just, a lot of it's just manipulating people's minds, you know?
Yeah.
Or mind controllers.
Subconsciously, what do I always say? Subconsciously.
Mind fucking.
Mind fucking. Subconsciously accompanying the tension arc of the song by little changes you do.
Subconsciously mind fucking.
Yeah,
that's the
or
nice,
that.
that's the official way to say it.
I just try to express myself a little better, but yeah.
That's the European way. Mine is I'm fucking with people's minds.
Do you sometimes get people coming to you after the show? Some people hate it, some people love it. I hate it. I hate it when someone comes over and talks to me because I always assume it's going to be something bad.
Yeah. For the longest time, people would come over and I would look at them and go, because for the first little bit, I was, you know, I wasn't good at my job, but like, I didn't know how to get my vocals on top of everything without breaking a dB limit. Mm-hmm. So I'd always have to compromise. I'd have my vocals lower than guitars. Then people would come up to me, say, I can't hear your vocals. And I'd be like, okay, like, you know, and eventually like people don't really come up like that anymore. It's more people coming up and complimenting snare bombs.
Usually in my experience of the last 10 years, people, especially in Europe, they will like it but not say anything, but they will say something if they don't like it.
Oh, they sure will.
So if someone comes up to me, I always assume the worst.
Yeah, and I feel like an asshole when I do that. Like I've had a couple shows on this tour where somebody's like called me from the barricade and then I'll go up and I'll be like, what the fuck are they going to say? And they'll be like, that was fucking awesome. And I'll be like, oh, thank you. I thought you were going to be an asshole. But
yeah.
You're actually quite pleasant. But,
well, tomorrow at the Poppy show, I'll be standing at the barricade and I'm going to be like, what the fuck was that?
Your snare bombs were awful.
Weak.
I had a guy in Glasgow come up to me in the thickest Scottish accent and go, your snare bombs were incredible. And I looked at him and I went, fuck yeah. That's exactly what I wanted. I got it in Italy the other day too. You know, I feel like the Italians don't like to compliment very much, but they...
Well, they don't really speak English. Okay, that was mean.
That shows me. They're assholes because they don't speak English.
No, I actually love Italians. I'm Italian at heart. I speak fluent Italian. I could always come and translate, and I will probably lie to you if they say something mean.
Yeah.
I'd be like, they loved it.
I love the bluntness of Italians. You know what I mean? I love the bluntness of most
They have a heart
Europeans.
on their tongues.
They do. They sure do.
But good experience?
Yeah. Shout out Italy.
Let's go Italy. Did you have any, I mean, we've all had them at the podcast. I already mentioned my little fuck up stories that I had of like accidentally muting a master or stuff like,
Oh, yeah.
Do you have a big one?
Oh, I fucked up last night. Like so hard. We do this pre-show song like about 3 minutes before our set goes, and I'll bring the house music down, hit pause on my Spotify, bring the house music back up to where I want it to be loud to start a pre-show song, and then I hit play on the same song that was playing from the house music, so it just blasted the normal house music. I went, oh fuck, and brought it down and brought up the pre-show song. That's about the hardest I've
That's
fucked
how you
up.
get people's attention.
It sure is. It's how you get the band's attention too. Not great attention, but
Yeah, sometimes when things happen, I like immediately after the show, I go up to whatever band I'm working with and I'm like, I'm so sorry. And sometimes they're like, why? What?
Oh.
We didn't even notice. But I'm like, I'd rather be the one telling them that something went wrong than someone else asking them and they'd be like, what? I don't know.
Yeah.
Usually they don't care anyway.
Yeah, I've stopped trying to apologize for my mistakes that I feel like the band won't hear. Unless it's like the PA went out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But even then, it's not our fault. It's never our fault.
I'm a
Listen.
big like checking up on the band after the show person. Like, how was your show?
Yeah.
Even though it might be negative comment, but
Yeah.
I always ask.
I think people should know it's never the audio guy's fault.
Oh no, it
Never.
never is. But also, whoever's gonna listen to this knows that already.
Yeah. Because it's all audio guys.
All of the 12 audio guys that listen to this, you know what we're
That's
talking
not
about.
true. You have 12,000 followers.
We're manifesting 12,000 followers on the podcast. even
Hit
though
that
it's
follow button.
not quite there yet.
We're getting there. We're getting there.
Do you have a really positive experience though, where you're like, this was the best show I've ever had?
I will be honest with you without sounding conceited. I don't think I've had a bad show in like the last year and a half. And I think there's just something eventually switches, or it's been I'm on the rig that I know all the time. But even like house rigs now, I just feel like you get this level of confidence eventually where you just kind of stop having.
Personally, I don't have that.
Really?
And I will never have it. I have the biggest imposter syndrome in the world.
I still have imposter. I when I started, I had terrible imposter syndrome. I still do.
One of the reasons I don't want people to talk to me after the show is because I'm like, they're going to say I'm fucking sucked, and I believe it.
I think that's just comes down to personal confidence. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're a good sound person. Like you rock.
And also, one thing that we're going to touch on after you say what you wanted to say,
Yeah.
I think I don't get hired a lot of times because I'm a girl.
That is a thing, unfortunately.
Yeah, but
And,
anyway,
well,
good experiences.
I will call out any band right now that doesn't want to hire a woman based solely on gender. It's fucking pathetic. Like,
Because right now, in this like big gap of we don't have a lot of shows going on and it's hard to find jobs and be hired. I know for a fact that I sent my resume to people and I talked to people and that bands are like, no,
yeah, I think a lot of bands are stuck in the Stone Age too.
especially in the heavy scene.
Big time. Big time.
You don't even know how much rage I have in me. I can make such an angry show. It's going to be the hardest show ever.
She had steam coming out of her ears before this.
Yeah, I'm like fucking angry.
Yeah.
And I know how to mix heavy music, but
Yeah.
whatever.
Connie is goated. Hire Connie.
That's me.
Podcast is done.
Okay,
no.
good experiences.
Yeah, good experiences. I mean, all of them are great experiences. You know, I'm constantly unlocking new achievements that I've wanted to do in my career. I think the biggest thing for me has been doing bucket list venues like Madison Square Garden, or like bucket list shows like Jimmy Kimmel or Coachella. Yeah, and thinking that I was going to have an okay show, and those end up being like legitimate cultural moments that I was a part of, and I had an awesome show. You know what I mean? There hasn't been one of those events.
Legit cultural moments where you're like, this is a hardcore band playing on the biggest late night TV show in the US.
Yeah.
That is a milestone for the whole music scene, actually.
Yeah, and it's crazy because like before we did Coachella, we didn't think, not that we didn't think anything of it, we thought it was cool, but we thought we'd have like a quarter empty tent. They hit capacity on their tent, and they had one of the most insane live stream shows. Like they had crowd surfers at Coachella. You know, it was like Billie Eilish was watching us.
It's like pop music and the wide public realizes hardcore is cool.
It's the
all
most
of a
generally
sudden.
accepted it's ever been.
That's crazy.
It's awesome. But there was Jimmy Kimmel too. Like that was the one where we were like, holy shit. You know what I mean?
I loved reading the comments after it. I loved reading all the comments of people being like, what the fuck was that?
The junt of the guitar scared my child. Good. Glad.
Good.
That's exactly what we were planning on doing. Why is your child watching late night television? Why?
I don't know. I never watched it. I watched it. That was the first only and every time I watched it was when Oculus was on, and it was sick.
Like, I think like you and everybody else in the hardcore scene. That was really cool. There's just like every single time I do one of those things, I kind of just wander off by myself and go like, I'll call my dad. I'll be like, what the fuck did I just do? You know what I mean? Like, what did we just do as a group? And
then another funny thing is though, when you were like in Milan or wherever, and we were talking about like meeting up and today and whatever, and I was like, oh, which venue? And oh no, we were talking about Munich.
Yeah.
Because you had a show at Backstage, which is like the venue that every crew person in the world has been to the most in their life.
Hundreds
Basically,
of times.
that's what it feels like. You had never been to Backstage because you had a lot of Munich shows, but you've always gone bigger.
Yeah.
You went from 0 to like bigger. And you skipped a lot of the
first show did I ever tell you about the first show I ever did? My first show I ever did without any, like I had only been on an M32 at school. I did a headline spot for Stick to Your Guns at Rock Am Ring for 90,000 people.
Oh my God.
First time I'd ever been behind any board besides an M32. And I had a fucking panic attack.
How is that even legal?
Oh, it's not. It shouldn't be. You know, there
You
was
had a panic attack?
Yeah, oh yeah, big time. I froze completely, and I'm lucky that there was another front of house dude named Squid. Shout out Squid. Works for Motionless and White, from Ashes to New. Incredible front of house guy. He saved my fucking life. Like, he walked up to the board and was like, "Hey man, everything okay?" And I'm like, "No, I'm having a panic attack."
Was it like for a song or a changeover?
It was like I didn't get any line check. I didn't really understand how festival changeover worked. I didn't give them an input list, like anything. Like they were trying to figure out the patch for our tails mid set, so they're just pulling my shit like
I'm having a panic attack just listening to this.
Yeah, not good. It wasn't good, but it was good. Like the set
You learned the hard way.
I did. I learned from somebody else. Like Gabe was there, kind of just like showing me like, this is how I EQ a kick. This is how you get your mix balanced. He's like, I think you're at a good place now. Just rock it.
That was during the show at Rock am Ring.
Yeah. He just happened to be walking by and went, "Hey man, I can help you."
My
Any
mind
other
is
front of
blown.
house could have went, "Go fuck yourself. You're on your own."
No, any other front of house dude, and I'm gonna say dude because I personally wouldn't, because I'm not an asshole, but any other guy would like point their finger at you and laugh.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, it's for some dudes, they can't wait to see a new person struggling.
Oh my
Or
God.
I just happened to get the one dude who was generous enough to help me. And
You're
like,
a saint, by the way. Squid.
Squid. Yeah, I just recently did Shiprocked with him, and it was my chance to show him how I've like kind of evolved as an engineer, and it was the most full circle moment ever.
Wow.
And it was really, really awesome.
I can't believe that happened.
Yeah, me too. I did Rock in Park the next
Also,
day.
how do you get in a situation? How does a band like Stick to Your Guns like throw you into this? They're old dogs. Like, they've been touring. Like, how do they think that's
Yeah,
good?
I was the only option that they had, really. It was when
just use the house guy? I mean, good for you.
No, it was either that or they either took me, a guy who was never mixed but knows how to do studio stuff, or they went with a house guy for the tour. The way I got in with them was Chris, their guitarist, lived in Windsor when I lived in Windsor, Ontario at the same time. And we had kind of been connected because he wanted to learn about recording. I'd just got out of school, so I had plenty of stuff to show him, and I wanted to network. We became really good friends really fast. I gave him plugins. I gave him all this, as much knowledge as I could pass on.
In return, he took you on tour.
He would always ask me, he said, what can I do for you in return? I'd say, take me on tour. And then one day he hit me up and said, do you think you could actually mix front of house? And I said, no, but I'll do it.
Ballsy.
Yeah, I lied about my job. Sorry, Chris. Told him that I had mixed.
Hey, but it got you to where you're today, so you got to take that chance.
It sure did.
And that's always the thing when you, for example, and this is like a very common example, when a guy goes into a job interview and is asked about, are you able to do this or that? And the guy would most likely say, yes, sure, I can do it. Whereas the woman will be like, I will have to learn it or whatever, or like lowball themselves. And I'm always like, be the guy.
Yeah.
In that scenario,
Yep.
do it, because that's going to get you chances, and you're going to learn with the experience, and you can try to prepare whatever you have to be the guy.
You got to fake it till you make it.
Yeah.
It's like, now here's the thing. I wouldn't fake. I didn't go in saying, oh, I've mixed for 10,000 people. Said I've mixed small shows on a tiny little board, so maybe I can do this, you know? And I spent that month leading up to the tour talking to as many audio people as I could, trying to understand how festivals worked. But like what I told you, when I showed up, I clearly didn't know how half
No
of
one
anything.
told you to send an input list?
I didn't know you had to do that, you know?
Wow, the wind is getting crazy.
It is getting nuts.
Okay,
What a
well,
tornado.
actually, we've passed our half-an-hour mark already anyway,
Really?
and I think the tornado's coming.
I think so too. That's all
But-
you get from me.
Honestly, that was so interesting to hear. Also, maybe kind of a little bit of a confidence push for other people who are just starting out, because you were thrown into the deep end and you made it.
Big time. I'm still in the deep end, you know? Like
Oh, I mean, same.
that imposter syndrome that we talked about never really left. It's kind of just I've evolved around it. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. I've gotten, you know, I spent forever telling myself, you don't know what you're doing. You don't deserve to be here, because there's other dudes who've been doing this for 13 years who haven't gotten the opportunities that you have. But then I tell myself, but you're here for a reason.
There's a reason a band hires you, and even after like 1 year of touring, it's like you have shows under your belt, and that is experience that no one can take away from
Yeah.
you. So be proud of it.
Straight up. Take the chance, take the leap. You know, if you think that you're out of like a fish out of water, you probably are, but you'll if you're lucky enough, somebody there will be there to
Give
help
you a
you.
chance
You know?
too. Yeah.
And the house guys are always there to help you too. Never as
Yeah.
mean as they can
as
be
long
sometimes.
as you're not an asshole.
Exactly. And if they're an asshole to you, fuck them.
Okay. Don't be an asshole. Don't let people fuck you over. What else?
Just be good at your job.
Just be good.
Yeah. Be
Okay.
willing to get better at your job too. That's
Yeah.
best advice I
Listen to all these podcasts and get better. Take everyone's advice that I have on my podcast.
got. Do better.
Be better. Okay. We should stop. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Matt.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Bye.